Hi, my name is Kelsie Delisle. I am going to put these sugar flowers on this dummy cake right here to kind of show you how it would work on a real cake. So a dummy cake is made out of styrofoam, so it's a lot harder to stick the wires in. Cake is pretty soft, so you won't have as much trouble with this as I am having here. But these pliers are a great way to put the flowers onto the cake without getting your fingers stuck in the icing. I am using my fingers here, but honestly, the pliers are a little bit more delicate and have more finesse. So what I'm doing after I stick the main stem of the wire into the cake is I am just adjusting all of the leaves and the individual stems of the flowers to kind of give it a little bit more of a realistic, organic look, to kind of fill in some holes and just to make it look a little bit more natural, because when it's being shipped, it kind of gets all packed up tight, and this just lets it look more natural. So I start at the bottom, and this is a 4-tier cake, not a 5-tier cake, but we are just going to pretend like it's a 5-tier cake. So I start at the bottom tier, tier number 5, and I will also label all of these flowers to show how I put them on the cake. If you think of, like, once you have the cake in front of you, sometimes you see different things than what I see in my head. So feel free to use your best judgment if you want to swap 2 of them around or something like that. But I try to give it a good balance of the different colors and flowers. So again, once I do the second one, I'm just manipulating the leaves and the flowers to give it more of a balanced look, and also to help the cake just look a little bit more like together, I guess. Like, once everything's together, it's gonna look like one big installation. And I do mess with it a lot here. I've cut out a lot of that just because I'm like really picky. But also, once it's in the venue and the lighting and stuff is set up, it is a lot easier to do this. If a petal breaks when you're doing this, that is totally normal. It happens. You can tuck in the broken petal behind another flower or towards the back of the cake, and no one's going to notice. That is just an unfortunate reality of working with this medium, that sometimes the flowers will break here and there. Usually it's just like a leaf will chip off or a petal will chip off, and that is totally something we can deal with. So I am putting the Delphinium in separately from the rest of the flowers because they are just their own giant gorgeous stem, and I didn't want to have to compete with the other flowers. So I'm putting in all of the other flowers first and then doing the Delphinium last, so that I can really make sure that she gets to shine and gets showcased. And once you have the flowers in there too, like, I honestly should not be messing with it this much right now, because once it's all on the cake, it's so much easier to like take a step back and look at it holistically and say like, oh, I should cover up that little gap underneath the ranunculus or something. But I am picky and kind of a perfectionist. So one of the things you want to pay attention to when you're doing this is to watch where your hands go so they don't accidentally bump into the icing. The pliers also help a lot with that. You just, it's the same with fresh flowers. You just got to be cautious of what you're doing. And again, cake is softer than styrofoam, so it's going to be easier to insert, and you're not going to feel like you have to jam it in there like I'm trying to do right here at the top. Okay, so again, this is a 4-tier cake, not a 5-tier cake. So I put them on the very top of the tier, but only to demonstrate what it would look like on a 5-tier cake. I'm about to put another dummy cake on top here to kind of faux the 5-tier look. But in the design, I don't have any flowers going off the top of the cake. Like, if some of the leaves poke out on top, I think it should be fine. I honestly, if you think it needs more flowers towards the top, go for it. But since it is a bigger cake, I like to keep it concentrated towards the centers of the tiers and not just too far at the top or too far at the bottom. And especially the bottom one, because we're putting it on the ledge of the cake there at the bottom, you can kind of tilt the flowers downward to kind of have them like drape down the side of the cake, and that will help fill it in and make it look a bit larger too. And one of the things I love about these Delphinium stems is they're also on the flexible wire, so you can kind of bend the stem a little bit and give them some movement and just some little graceful curves in there. So that is pretty much it. I'm just going to keep messing with this for another 30 seconds here, but if you have any questions, I'm going to leave you my cell phone number. Feel free to text or call. I'm really excited to see how this turns out at the venue and on the actual cake. So please don't hesitate to ask me any questions before then or on Saturday, and I'm happy to help. Thank you so much for watching, and have fun decorating. Thanks. Bye.